This is Howie Sandberg, not only for Northeast Hardcore Wrestling, but for FantasyBash. It's hard to believe, but FantasyBash is just less than 1 week away now. It's an event so big that all the action doesn't take place in one night. No. It takes place this year in 2 nights. Friday and Saturday of this coming week. And I am going to tackle the Northeast Hardcore Wrestling representation on this amazing card. There will be a secondary podcast that covers other promotions, but I thought for starters we could delve into NEHW. So let us begin with night 1. The NEHW World Tag Team Championships will be on the line when the Religion, with Pope Steadius IV at ringside, defend their titles against the team of Silence and Violence. The Silent Assassin Double H. Oh, jeez. I'm Randy Mercado for the podcast. Wait, no, I'm Howie Sandberg for the podcast. Oh, boy, do I feel stupid. It will be the Silent Assassin Ryu and Double H challenging for those championships. This is a matchup that has come about due to the Religion attempting to convert Mr. Matsumoto over to the other side, if you will. Of course, well, we shouldn't say of course, you just never know what's going on in Mr. Matsumoto's mind, but no. And there was Matsumoto was, I believe, left bloodied in some altercation. Silence and Violence was not happy about this for a variety of reasons. One of those reasons, and I'm just going to say this, they felt as if the Religion went into business for themselves. Smart marks, you know what I'm referring to. Apparently, the Religion went rogue, perhaps. Maybe they were looking to get additional rub off of Ryu, a man who has been a main eventer in Northeast for quite some time. Silence and Violence reportedly not too happy about this, and thus they are challenging for the titles. You will recall Silence and Violence had a shot. Here we go. Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? Because here we go. Not just a shot. Not just any shot. Not just your dog shot. Not just your liver shot. But a shot. Or is it a spot? Oh, I know. I know what I'm doing here. Do you know what I'm doing? Yeah, you do. You're too smart for that. Smart marks! That's my Brian Pillman. Have you guys ever seen the ECW episode in which Pillman goes on a rant and a rave about smart marks and acts as if he's going to whip out his Johnson in the middle of the ring? Check it out. It's a great one. Anyhow, Silence and Violence did challenge Big Dread Vedder and 4-Foot Frank at Summer Heat, and they came up short. Again, see what I did there. 4-Foot Frank. Apologies to the little people community, not really. This should be an outstanding matchup. Lots of talent on both sides. We'll see what happens. In other action, night 1, one of the bigger matches of the show, will pit Brock the Pulverizer going one-on-one with God's Herald Legion Cage. And if you'll excuse me, I'm just going to take a sip of my Starbucks coffee, because I'm a true professional on the radio, wasting your time while I drink my coffee. Only a true professional can do that. And I like my coffee hot. And shout out to Randy Mercado. It is not a Grande Decaf. Jeez, I'm torturing you people with these inside references. I'm sorry. Where was I? Barack the Pulverizer has had Legion Cage and the cartel make his life a nightmare. Attack after attack after attack. The numbers game, just too much. You put the Devil's Own into the equation, and you're talking about 4-on-1 attacks. This match happening for all kinds of reasons at Deviant Behavior. Brock and Cage duked it out in a knockdown, drag-out slugfest, a real dogfight. But in the end, the ratings god Lance Rave made a surprise appearance in NEHW, interfered, cost Brock the match. He would then sign an NEHW contract and join the cartel. Now, on Total Anarchy, on the last two Total Anarchies, Brock has gained all kinds of momentum. He defeated Hitman Howie Sandberg on Howie's way out the door. But regardless, one of the biggest matches, biggest victories of Brock's career, getting the W over the Hitman. And then on the latest Total Anarchy, Brock extracted a bit of revenge on Lance Rave by defeating him. Now on this night, Brock was able to elude the sneak attacks by the cartel. Legion Cage on guest commentary would try after the match, only to be met by a big boot, a brogue kick by Brock. And it seemed like Brock would get that said measure of revenge on this night. He would hoist Cage up for the jackknife powerbomb, only for Lance Rave to pull him out of the ring. So all roads are leading to Fantasy Bash and this matchup. And for Brock's sake, let's hope that the cartel stays out of this. In other NEHW Night 1 action, one of the main events of the show, it will feature ravishing Rude Runo, who has made appearances in NEHW despite not being signed to an actual contract. Rude Runo, with arguably the biggest match of his career. I say arguably because he has fought the likes of Ryu. He's fought the likes of Johnny Legend. He's fought the likes of both of them in a triple threat for the NHW World Title and Mistletoe Madness. But this one is big. It's on the grandest stage of them all. And it is against a man that he cannot stand. These two men do not like each other. It will be Rude Runo going up against F the Office Freddie Fuller. They have exchanged heated words on this last Total Anarchy. The end of the show saw Freddie Fuller and the Maestro standing over a beaten down Rude Runo. We must address the elephant in the room, ladies and gentlemen. There have been all kinds of rumors swirling about in regards to Freddie Fuller, in regards to his status in the FWA. Now, we all know this man has been anti-establishment forever. He is rebellious. Allegedly butting heads with James Rodney Richards. These men have had a falling out. Could this be the last match for Freddie Fuller in the FWA? It might be. It might be. And let's just hope we do not see a Survivor Series 1997 screw job. Let's see how this plays out. Word has it, things have gotten quite contentious behind the scenes. And it's a combustible situation. I'm not sure how James Rodney Richards feels about Freddie Fuller being on this card. But the match has been signed. Richards wants to get the match out there as advertised, I would presume. Freddie Fuller, I would presume, wants to partake in the match. Like I said, we're going to see. Night 2. It will be Double H, the vile, wicked, nasty Double H, going up against More to Love Billy Johnson. What a feud this has become. On the last Total Anarchy, Double H delivered an in-ring promo. A coffin was set up in the ring prior to this, along with a large, an object with a large covering so no one could see it. Double H would sarcastically go on to, excuse me, how did that happen? Technical difficulties. Double H would go on to say that he's out there to pay tribute to the late, great Meatloaf, and that he's devastated to hear the news of his tragic passing, that he'd requested this time from Commissioner Rhino Reagan to pay homage to the man. And he would go on to say that rather than going on a long diatribe, the best way he could pay tribute is through Meatloaf's music. Double H allegedly having a secret talent. What kind of talent, you ask? He claims to be quite the singer, that he tried out for American Idol, that one year in 2001 he performed at Ozfest, and not only did he performed a sterling rendition of the song One by the band Creed, a version of One that was so good that members of Creed, Mark Tremonti himself, reached out to Double H and said, "Hey buddy, we want you to replace Scott Stapp," another dirtbag, in the band. Double H refused. But we would quickly realize that this was a crock of BS, as he would sing, Double H, that is, Paradise by the Dashboard Light. Ears would be bleeding in that Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania PPG Paints Arena audience. I don't want to say cringe-worthy, but really just some singing that we did not need to hear. A complete mockery, a complete abortion, complete disrespect to Meatloaf and his catalog of music and his rock operas. Double H would then go on to sing, quote unquote, I use that term sing, that word loosely. He would sing Rock and Roll Dreams Come Through. The fans would boo all this. Of course, the third song would come on, and it would be Meatloaf, but it would be, and I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. I'm just on a roll here this morning. I know you must have thoroughly enjoyed my sterling rendition of Meatloaf. Not really. Not really. There's a reason I keep my singing relegated to the shower. Billy Johnson would come out to his theme song. The crowd would pop. He would get in the ring. Double H would say, Billy Johnson, if you don't fly out of here like a bat out of hell, or get out of here like a bat out of hell, clever, I'm going to kick your fat ass. Double H would let him have it. Say, I don't know how someone as disgusting as you can get all these women, somebody as fat as you, and a manly effing man like me is standing right here. And Billy Johnson would retort, it's probably because I've heard stories about you taking your dates to Wendy's and not even ponying up the bucks to let them upgrade to the biggie fries. Billy's saying that, look, I've got no problem with Wendy's. In fact, the Baconator, whoa, that's a hell of a sandwich. And then I ate 4 of them one night, and I was so aroused, food being a great aphrodisiac, and I would go up to the penthouse suite, and one of my Billy's babes would come up, and they didn't have to ask the same question that they'd ask with you, Double H. That question being, where's the beef? Chance of where's the beef would come down. Double H, now very pissed off, saying, I've got your quarter pounder right here. A crotch chop. This would culminate with Double H saying, I'm not going to say it again. If you don't get out of my ring, you are going to wind up like this guy right here. Presumably, we're to believe that Meatloaf is in the coffin. You're going to wind up dead meat. A brawl would ensue in the ring. Billy Johnson would hoist Double H up. Double H would pull a pair of scissors out of his pocket and puncture Billy's neck with them. Billy would go crumbling down. Double H would hit the heartthrob neck drop. Double H would then take the covering off of that object, and lo and behold, a cutout cardboard of Meatloaf. And he would cut it into pieces. I cut the meatloaf. That a jab, a shot at Billy Johnson for when Billy gets in the ring after his entrance and asks the monkeys in the back to cut the meatloaf of his theme song. Double H would then go on to take the scissors and wedge them into Billy's neck. Blood, an eerie, scary scene. Paramedics would rush the ring. Just appalling. Par for the course with Double H. I implore you folks to read Billy Johnson's retort in out-of-ring action in Northeast. Just a fantastic promo. You will not be disappointed if you've not already read that. One has to wonder what condition Billy will be in for this match at Fantasy Bash. He says he will be ready. He says he will be there. In other Northeast Hardcore Wrestling action on night 2, one of the bigger matches of the night, it will be Chaos Knight going up against Lightning Mountain. This will be the first match as a heel for Lightning Mountain in his illustrious career. Lightning Mountain will intend to take. The man has left his blood, sweat, and tears in that squared circle. He has nothing left to give. So he says he's going to take. And take he did from Chaos Knight, pulling the wool over his eyes. We had thought maybe this was just a spontaneous, raw type of emotion deal, that Lightning Mountain was frustrated, thinking that others in the back did not have his back and reciprocate the favor after Lightning Mountain was attacked on a few occasions. And this was not the case. In fact, things became crystal clear for Lightning Mountain after a Legion Cage smacked him over the head with Lightning Mountain's trusted shovel. And he knew in that moment of time what he had to do. And he did it. He turned on Chaos Knight. These friends, now bitter enemies. Now Chaos Knight is on a roll. Chaos Knight defeated Freddie Fuller in the main event on the last Total Anarchy, and that is a major win. Freddie Fuller, a 3-time NHW World Heavyweight Champion, a man who tortured Hitman Howie Sandberg, had very, very good success against the Hitman. To score that win, big. And then Chaos Knight would win and make history. He would win the FWA World Heavyweight Championship, the most prestigious prize in all of wrestling, for the 4th time. He would win it for the 4th time. So he has all kinds of momentum heading into this thing. This will be a match you do not want to miss. Is there anything else I am leaving out? Apologies if I am. Obviously, I'm having my coffee for a reason. The main event. A double main event on this show. We will not get into Hitman Howie Sandberg versus Dangerous Dave Howard for the California Unified World Heavyweight Championship. That is for another show. That is a big match in its own right. But instead, we will talk about the returning Lucian champion going up against and challenging the also 3-time NHW World Heavyweight Champion, the reigning title holder, the 5'2" player, the man with absolutely no weaknesses, the man that has been compared to and being a combination of both Mr. Perfect and MJF with refined technical skills, a great promo, a great look. Lucian versus Legend for the World Heavyweight Championship of Northeast. Now, Lucian made a stunning appearance, declaring that he is back. And on the last Total Anarchy, he would see his first action, only his second match in a long, long time. His last match taking place at Super Clash in 2020 for California Extreme Wrestling. And talk about not being eased into action. Lucian having the tall order of taking on the Samoan murder machine Manu, a man who had run roughshod over the NHW roster. At first, Lucian was a little bit rusty, but he would find his footing. And Lucian was in fine form in this one, and quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, won this one quite decisively, maybe surprising. So what is going to happen here? It bears mentioning that during this match, John E. Legend came out to the ringside area to scout Lucian. And after the match, he got in the ring. The two men would engage in fisticuffs very briefly, because apparently the office did not want to see this go down on this night, wanting to save it for Fantasy Bash, wanting to save it so the fans would have something to be longing for. The office wanting to leave the fans wanting more. They will get more at Fantasy Bash. A pull-apart brawl would ensue here. Lucian is arguably the greatest wrestler to ever set foot in a ring. Johnny Legend, the youngest world champion in the history of this business, is a fascinating matchup in many ways. It is a dream matchup. And it happens in just 1 week. As stated earlier, I will be back to cover other matches at Fantasy Bash. This is the Northeast version. I thank you kindly for tuning in this morning. And I will speak to you all, I will talk to you all on the proverbial flip side.